So guys, this was slightly easier. As you can see, I have already disassembled the gearbox. Definitely when you know the sequence, it is way better and quicker. So now I'm going to get the secondary shaft out as well, and I'm gonna clean the excess foil that I have lubricated the last time off, and I'm gonna try to address that seal over there. That is the problem, and then I'm gonna deal with the selector for the gears. So basically this is it. So this thing, bearing and seal and shaft in one is out, and I'm gonna try to find the proper replacement for this thing, so the leak is gonna stop. So now I'm gonna get this out of the way. I'm gonna try to replace the other seal that I have to replace. So guys, these are the two metal pieces that are supporting the lever for the gear actually the gear selector. So since I have them in the new kit, I'm gonna replace them as well. I don't think these are worn, but I have them, so I'm gonna install them. And now I'm gonna just clean that surface, and in reverse order I'm gonna mount the two metal pieces, and then the rubber piece, and the seal, and again the gear selector. guys, finally I have the last piece, which is this thing, the replacement for it. It was a bit of a challenge to get this thing, because this is the second item actually, because the first one didn't have the seal that is supposed to be in here. So now I'm gonna install this over here, and I'm gonna be able to assemble the gearbox once again and move on to the next thing. Well guys, now I have installed the new one, the new piece, but there is another problem. As you can see over here, it is a hole that is supposed to let oil into the bearing, and that hole has to align with this hole over here that is on the cover. Over here there is a hole, but apparently on the new bearing this hole is way too close to the tip of the bearing. I didn't notice that, and actually when I look closer, as you can see that this bearing had the same problem as well, but I didn't pay that much attention to that problem because I figured that everything is perfectly aligning. There is this shadow, you can see it over here in the back. You can see that around the hole over here is a shadow that is actually telling me that this hole didn't align perfectly as well, because at the moment the cover is hiding the hole like this. There is not enough room for the oil to get in, I'm guessing. I don't know, there is this mark that probably there was oil over here, I don't know. So I had to get this bearing even deeper into the housing because of this, and I don't know what to do actually. It's not like I can drill this hole a bit bigger or something like that. There is nothing that I can actually do, so I'm gonna just leave it as it is, and I'm gonna hope for the best. But so far I have only problems with this car. There is nothing that comes easy with it, so why would this thing come easy when everything else fails to do so? So guys, I had to slightly adjust the reverse, which is this over here. The big shaft was engaged, so it didn't want to get in other gears, so I had to disengage it, and basically it has to step like this. Basically, before this lever that is for the reverse, basically it was in position, so the reverse was engaged, and the gear selector was not in a reverse, so I couldn't disengage it, so I had to adjust it. But now everything seems to be fine, and I'm gonna make another final check to make sure that the gears are engaging. These two levers over here are for the first and second and third and fourth. This is for the fifth gear, I think, and as I mentioned, the big one is for the reverse. So I'm gonna quickly check if everything is okay, and then I'm gonna mount the oil pan over here. That is this cover for the fifth, and it's not the oil pan, just cover for the fifth gear. Although it is actually also collecting the oil for the fifth gear, and I'm gonna mount the sensor over here for the reverse, the lights, and I'm gonna install the lever for the axial bearing and the axial bearing itself, and this is gonna be all for this gearbox. I'm gonna be ready finally to mount it. So guys, this was the last piece. As you can see, the bearing for the clutch, axial bearing for the clutch is mounted, and the clutch arm, also the breather for the box, and the sensor for the speedometer, and down here have the sensor for the reverse. So now the gearbox is officially ready to be mounted, and I'm gonna start installing the clutch probably and some other stuff now. So I know I did it a bit slowly, but I just wanted to make sure that everything is gonna fit nice and work properly. As you can see, I have new seal over here and new seal, as you can remember, for the on the bottom for the gear selector, new seal, new bearing, and new seal in the back as well. And I'm gonna mount new seal for the drivetrain. So over here I used some high temperature resistant sealant, and this is all that I can do about this gearbox.